At Cynthia Rogers, MD Dermatology, we specialize in providing comprehensive expert care for the full spectrum of skin conditions, from complex skin diseases and skin cancer to aging concerns and aesthetic needs. With decades of combined experience in medical, surgical, and aesthetic dermatology, our team brings both deep clinical knowledge and a patient-first approach to every visit. Our practice focuses on developing personalized treatment plans tailored to each individual's skin, health, and life stage. We're located in Port St. Lucie, Florida, in the PSL Professional Center. Learn more or schedule a visit at floridaskindoctor.com.
Steel Graphics and Designs creates custom racing wraps and logos built for the real world and iRacing. From bold liveries to clean, professional branding, every design is made to perform on and off the track. Ready to upgrade your look? Contact Steel Graphics and Designs for custom wraps. Visit Steel Graphics and Designs on Facebook to learn more.
Backed by 70 years of experience, Duncan Water Systems specializes in commercial and residential water system testing, design, installation, and maintenance. Our mission at Duncan Water Systems is to provide high-quality water solutions to every customer. We pride ourselves on being responsive, honest, and customer-oriented. Our priority is safer water for you and your family. Contact us via call, text, email, or visit us at duncanwatersystems.com.
Come one, come all. It's the greatest race on a Tuesday night. It's the BTDY Florida Skin Doctor Racing Series, and you're watching it here on VSPEED. Welcome back, everybody. It is time to determine the fate of one of our drivers who will be champion. I'm your host, Logan Threlkeld, joined by your one-time winner this season, the season opener, our Daytona winner, Bradley Cooper, running the production truck, co-host for us tonight with cameras, of course, by Dougie Beard. We've got a little bit of time here to talk before we get down to the grid. Our top three competitors here today, Adam Cabot, Bailey Turner, Braxton DeWeese, separated by just 12 points for the chase for the cup. Seth Hatchell, close, but I think on paper is out of the equation. Just a few mishaps through the season. Otherwise, he'd be battling right here in the top four for this championship. Bradley, I know you haven't been a part of it just yet. You've gotten filled in a little bit behind the scenes. What are you expecting to see coming into today's race?
Well, I don't expect to see the last event that I was a part of. I believe it was Daniel Cunningham and Adam Baker were in the booth, and we were racing at Lime Rock, where a car flipped over. So I don't expect to see that with Adam Cabot tonight, but I do expect Bailey Turner, Adam Cabot, and Braxton DeWeese to be right on top of each other this entire time. These cars have been competitive. Of course, mentioned with Bailey Turner and Adam Cabot, it went back and forth all season. Bailey Turner owes Cabot a few. He's gotten taken out by his teammates, so that'll be interesting to see as well.
Yeah, ironically, our biggest rivalry in the field comes from teammates. So, you know, they've put together a good camp over there when you've got two of your drivers up in the top three, all battling for this championship. As we take it to Homestead, Miami. Opened up November 5th of 1995, just a little older than myself. Homestead, Florida, 1.5 miles around, 18 degrees of banking in the corners, just a slight 3 degree of banking down the front and the back stretch. It's unique, the shape of this track. It gives you a much greater sense of speed than what can truly be accomplished here unless you take, well, we'll say
The outside
alternate
line?
avenues, the outside line, which I'm sure we'll see a different version of that one get used today. But we've got a grid to get to as our drivers all starting to appear here on the front straight down into the pits. Let's take a look at who has set the pole. And it's going to be the 88 of Eric Hutton coming in, playing spoiler to Adam Cabot by just margins of a second here, keeping Cabot in the 8-point range back to Bailey Turner instead of gathering that bonus point for the pole position. That is your front row, the 88 of Hutton and the 17 of Adam Cabot. Behind them, it's the 23 of Ray Massey starting out in P3 next to the 24. Bailey Turner will be behind Adam Cabot. In row number 3, Braxton DeWeese will start on the inside line, offset from the competitors just ahead of him. He'll be starting next to the 22 of Angelo Horonis. In P7, we have the 6 of Ryan Gimmel making back-to-back weekly appearances here, lined up next to teammate, the 8 of Seth Hatchell rolling off P8. Inside the top 10 is the 52 of Jake Miller, lined up next to the 83 of Dennis Faircloth for today's event.
11th spot's going to go to Chris Simard with Dallas Sullivan in 12th position. Cody Atkins and James Loveland will start in row number 7. Paul Hahn pretty much has it wrapped up there for best of the rest. Alan Dice going to be in 16th position. 17th going to Michael Jones, electing not to take a time with Zach Smith in 18th. And Thomas Brindle rounding out your field.
We've got our field coming down the back straight here. I have not seen a added lap, so I believe the pace car will come off as we make our way out of turn 4. That's one thing to kind of talk about. Although there's a lot of room to navigate down into the pits, it can be quite difficult. The pace car will do it with ease as we roll into the starting zone, and the green flag will wave for the championship race. Here we go for 150 laps. Through the bottom of turn 3 and 4, Adam Cabot has already jumped ahead of Eric Hutton. Bailey Turner holds on to P3 just behind the 88 machine. Braxton DeWeese has not been able to move forward, actually losing one spot there, falling back to P6. But staying right in the hunt as the 24 takes it up to that top line, rolling on the outside.
Gonna move the cushion up the racetrack, as they say. Gonna move it up closer and closer to that wall. But for Turner to be able to run that high this early and still get a run on Hutton, that tells me that 24 car is dialed in. He's figured something out already.
Ready to go is the 24 of Turner. We'll take a look here to the inside of Eric Hutton down into turn 1. Doesn't send it in too deep. No need in burning up the tires this early in such a long race. Talking a little bit about what we've got set up for today. Of course, 150 laps on the board. These drivers have 80% fuel for today, which I've heard is somewhere in the realm of about 50 laps. So expect at least 2 scheduled pit stops just for fuel. We have 5 tire sets available over that pit wall, and expect these drivers to use every single one of them if they have to. Of course, 3 green-white checkered attempts at the very end if we need them. Few and far between here on these Tuesday nights as Bailey Turner just slots ahead of Eric Hutton up for P2. Has some ground to recover now, a half second up to Adam Cabot. And Cabot knows just how important the clean air will be here today. So expect that 17 to fight for that position early on, where other tracks might let it go.
Watching Ray Massey now chase down on Eric Hutton. Eric Hutton, of course, getting the pole position, but a little off pace. Didn't get the lead lap 1. So I don't know if there was something different about the race conditions. Maybe the track temperature came up a little bit compared to qualifying, but Cabot able to take it away quickly. Hutt not able to lead a single one yet.
Well, it's still all about getting to the right portion of the track into turn one. I mean, you're pretty well full throttle from the green flag drop all the way down into turn three, but you still have to position that car in the right spot to really be able to capitalize. It does not look like the 88 has done that. Now losing some ground here to Ray Massey. Massey gets pulled back in from the outside line. The drive off the top proving to be tough already. We'll expect to see that used more and more as the race goes on. Of course, it's about 6 p.m. in sim time, mid-July, so we'll likely finish this one under the sunlight. Unless something crazy happens and this race just goes long, I don't expect to see the lights turn on.
Say sunset right around 8:15 in sim, so
we got about 2 hours.
Yeah.
They might flip on, they may not. Only time will tell. It's Hutton getting a big run off of turn 4, gets himself re-clear of Ray Massey. The entire field single filed out at this point. 96 degrees on the track surface, only 84, partly cloudy here in South Florida. So ideal racing conditions, honestly. It's not triple digits on the surface yet, making this car virtually unbearable to drive at times. You get that hot on the track. On board with the 8 machine of Seth Hatchell, running P7. Has gotten around teammate Gimmel. Gimmel just runs P8 behind him. Starting to see more of these drivers adapt up the track here. That's the 22 of Angelo Baronis going up. Deweese has a nice run from the bottom line. He'll get door-to-door down the back straight. A little bit of side draft could help out the 00. Baronis is going to give it up into turn number 3. But Deweese up to P5. Just a few spots behind his competitors for that cup.
Couple spots there for Deweese to work up through there, but he's back to where he started this race. And with Eric Hutton and Ray Massey, they keep going side by side. That might make it difficult for Braxton to keep pace with Bailey Turner and Adam Cabot. They could pull away. However, Hutton looks like he finally got rid of that inside battle from Massey.
Back a little further, the 77 of Chris Samard trying to make a move on Dallas Sullivan for P9. Had a good drive down the back straight. Almost got to the rear bumper, not quite there. Sent it down low in the corner. Got the nose to the rear axle, but couldn't do anything with the drive off. And it's basically the same exact thing happening here. He actually keeps it much closer off of the corner this time. So Smart might have some movement down into turn 3 for Sullivan. I don't know, as much as you look at a track map of Homestead Miami, Bradley, it's just being on the track itself. I feel like turn 3 and 4 are just slightly different enough from 1 and 2. You do have to use an alternate driving line if you want to complete a pass, where Samard right now has found his way to the bottom. Sullivan electing to send it top all the way around. So there's not a big opening here for Samard to really go for. He makes up ground out of 2, but loses it down here on the other end of the track.
I'll agree with you. This track is the appearance of symmetrical, but both ends of it are different. And we'll ride back on board here with Samard. I've been known to take the inside in 1 and 2 and take the outside in 3 and 4, or maybe, flip it around, maybe take the middle. It just matters where the grip is and what the temperature is on the track, where guys are running. We have a caution here. Zach Smith on the backstretch here, just exiting turn 2, and Dennis Faircloth also involved, I believe.
Faircloth actually brought it down to the pits about 7 laps ago. I'm not entirely sure what happened to him.
The 91 Smith just snapped free. Could not save this car. hit the wall hard, Logan.
That's one of the things about this car at this track. The snap off the corner, it's so hard to catch. Just given this body, oh goodness, that is a hard lick to the outside wall. Luckily, everybody behind was able to react. Single car incident, but does end up with a meatball for the 91 as he ended up towing it from the back straight. We'll have an onboard look here. See the nose start to point down a little too much. He finally catches it. Just a slight overcorrection, and we're talking an overcorrection by centimeters, Bradley. This car is so finicky.
Yeah.
Just the slightest bit of an overcorrection does exactly what we just saw.
Yeah, counter steering with an independent rear end goes against everything you're taught as a race car driver. A lot of solid rear ends on pretty much everything except for this cup car and road cars. And looks like the two flirting with the pit road barrels.
I don't know exactly what Jones was going for there, but I can kind of see the vision, maybe trying to get the 7 of Han to involuntarily visit the pit barrels, but it didn't catch him. Strange strategy, but it could work in some cases, I guess. The race off of pit road, a big spin from the first box. Hutton will fall behind Ray Massey. Who got it between Cabot and Turner?
I think Cabot got it, but barely. Go back and watch this. A lot of wheel spin here by Hutton.
Yeah, Hutton just couldn't quite get it going. Maybe some spilt fuel on the ground. Inside line, looks to get it. The 17 of Cabot across first. That was very close.
Weezer 8 in the chat. Having a great week so far. Checking in Braxton and Weeze in 8th or 5th position rather. So not a lot changed. Eric Hutton lost a position to Ray Massey and defended it earlier with that wheel spin. You mentioned we'll lose one spot. Could have been a lot worse. Your top 3 in points, top 5 on the track. And you have Seth Hatchell in 7th. Mathematically, you know, you go back to what happened to him earlier in this season, but it was a strong season for Seth Hatchell. He came up with 2 wins, and without those few incidents he had in the chase, he'd be right in this battle as well.
Absolutely. And the fact that the 8 has been able to keep himself up here in the battle. You know, he had a strong recovery effort there starting a couple weeks ago. He was, I believe, P7 in the points. Just worked back up into nearly the top 3 if things had gone just a little bit differently last week. But here we are just on the outside looking in. His would-be competitors all right ahead of him here. As the pace car lights are out, we're doubled back up. Cabot has elected for the bottom. Pace car pulls off. And we are back to BTDY night in America. The green flag waves for restart number 1 to start lap 17. The 17 of Cabot. Right back to sole control, side by side for P2 behind. Massey got the run to the inside of Bailey Turner. DeWeese trying to work around Eric Hutton. The battle ahead. Single files out. DeWeese still the inside of the 88. Seth Hatchell working behind him on the inside of Dallas Sullivan.
There's another car that's not in the top 10 anymore. Angelo Horonis, I'm not sure if he had a connection issue. He just come down pit road, 13.9 in the box, and then disappeared from the session after that caution. Zach Smith in the 91. Angelo Horonis is out, so we actually only have 16 cars on the racetrack.
It does appear it was a connection issue for Horonis. Packet loss. Hate to see that. Luckily not in the chase, so it wasn't detrimental, but always nice to finish out the season on a strong note. Get prepped back up for your next 20-week run at things. As DeWeese finally gets back behind Eric Hutton, he was able to retain that 4th position. Sullivan on the fresher tires now, immediately to the outside line. It took him a few laps last run to start to migrate up to the top. 46 looking to make some moves early, possibly.
Had a good run there out of 2. Just couldn't take it anywhere. He wants to run the outside. If he could time that perfect, he could get there. He's got to carry that momentum to the high line. That's the issue. This might be a little bit better for him.
The timing just has to be perfect here. I would doubt this early on Hatchell would put up much of a contest against him if he took a look to the inside here for turn 3. He's just going to creep back up to the bumper. Maybe forces the 8 to overdrive it a little bit. Hatchell's been down at the bottom since this restart.
Dirty air, though.
Oh, a lot of movement up front there. Cabot and Turner, maybe those two got into it, I believe.
Go figure.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about that. The biggest rivalry coming from teammates. Take it back here on the VSPEED instant replay. Have a look at exactly what happened. Oh, the 24 just got loose from the bottom, crossed up.
That was a slider, but I don't think it worked.
Yeah, it wasn't. I don't think that was a fully intentional slider. It didn't seem like there's enough commitment there.
Oh, it was full commitment.
There's the slide. Just coming from the rear end of that 24 machine. Luckily, just glances off the wall. So
He's got
should be
another
no
one.
damage on Turner. Another big run here for the 24. To the inside this time.
He's going to try it again.
He takes it all the way up to the top. Earlier this time, Cabot crosses him up. The left rear quarter. Can he get the side draft to get back ahead? No. Turner will get a lap led.
So a bonus point there for the 24. That puts him back even. Without getting that pole award. The 17 still trying to escape the rivalry. But if you're Bailey Turner, you need Adam Cabot to have a bad race. He's had way too good of a session here so far. You need him to fall back out of the top 5, and you need to lead the most laps. You need to win this race.
Yeah, absolutely. This is do or die in this
Little
situation
block
here.
there. Little block. And again, we're down to 16 cars. Braxton Deweese is not out of this by any means. He's been riding back at 4th, 5th position all race. These two take each other out, which they've been known to do this season. And Bailey Turner has definitely kept track of that. If something happens to these two cars, Braxton Deweese just has to run in 4th.
And, you know, I mean, just if we really want to talk about random things that could happen, of course, you could put Seth Hatchell back in the conversation if penalty points were to arise.
Yeah.
You know, he's sitting 4th at 24 points behind Adam Cabot right now. So
Wouldn't
it's
that be a barn
possible
burner?
that'd be an even crazier race finish at Homestead than what I've been a part of.
Yeah. Yeah, that's not something we try to do here on VSPEED, but we do like to create the scenario. Imagine
the could-haves that will likely be never-bees. But it's fun to think about.
we've seen everything here on VSPEED. How many years now? You've been here 2 years now?
Yeah, it's something like that. I lose track at this point. Hundreds of races later,
Yeah.
the days start to blend.
It's over 2,000, 3,000 races that I've been a part of, and it's insane to think, hey, we've seen it all. Every time you think that,
Something new happens.
yep. That's why we do it.
Right now, nothing new between these two. Still throwing haymakers back and forth. 3 official lead changes. Of course, Cabot
to see
taking
another.
the lead. Yeah, I mean, here we go with Turner sending it down to the bottom.
This is allowing
Turner
Braxton
controls-
Deweese to catch up
Yeah.
to these two.
The 00 finally got around the 88, up to P3. Now we'll hold on to this spot as best as he can. Keep Eric Hutton behind him. I was going to say it's Bailey Turner controls 3 and 4. Adam Cabot controls 1 and 2. Now, if somebody wants to go and do the math as to how many times that'll go back and forth between now and then to lap 150, you could possibly have a pretty good guess as to who would come out victorious in this one. Cabot takes it down to the bottom, trying to break the draft like it's Indianapolis Motor Speedway. I don't think Homestead's front and back straight are quite long enough to worry about that. But the 17 back to the lead has a great run off of turn 2. He'll get clear of Turner by about 3 car lengths there, diving down into turn 3. Back to the bottom goes the 17. DeWeese 0.3 of a second behind Bailey Turner right now, closing that gap, getting closer to 2/10, putting distance on Eric Hutton. Gimmel and Simard are side by side for P8, the 77 and the 6 up at the top. Simard has a good run, might even have a look at Dallas Sullivan here. The 22 of Veronis. Yeah, he finally gets reconnected here. He's going to be about 9 laps down from the race leader. So it'll be a miracle to see the 22 even back on the lead lap. Again, we talked about how crazier things have happened, so don't close the book on that story. Forward look with Gimmel there through 1 and 2. That battle with Simard has subsided. Simard didn't quite get the run that I thought he would to catch up to the 46.
I thought it was quieting down. Bailey Turner still within a 10. Not getting quite as good of a run out of 3 and 4, but he's still trying that higher line, and he's running out of racetrack here. He's going to brush the wall. He might give up a spot to Braxton DeWeese here.
DeWeese will come out at 2 at the door, but the 24 got it off the wall in time to start generating that speed. Got the run down the back straight, puts 2 cars on the 00. Right back up to the wall again. Scrapes it twice. That rear end starting to skew. I don't know, he just generated a massive run back up to the 17.
Trying your line. 17's taking it away from him.
With the dirty air on the nose is what you have to do.
He's still got a good run. I mean, even though he took that away,
Jake Miller's had issues. The 52 has brought it back down to the pits. Looks like off of turn 4 had an issue, came up into the wall on exit. It was just about, it was the same thing we saw earlier. It was a snap loose condition for the 52 machine.
Let's see if I can dial this up. Yeah, this one I guess
just
he
a
had
little
that.
after.
Yeah.
He's coming out of 4 here. You see the nose point down again. The rear end starts sliding. The small correction that just slams that car into the outside wall. Heavy damage on the right front tire. Ended up with a meatball flag. It'll be a little while before we see the Miller team back on track. So the snap loose has now collected the 91 and the 52. Angelo Veronis may be able to regather 1 position here. Ray Massey, Eric Hutton, side by side. Massey was loose off the bottom there. The 88 gets the drive back around. Here comes the 8 of Hatchell. Slingshot to the inside. He gets well cleared down into turn 1. Doesn't quite slide up the track. Stays out of the dirty air from Hutton. Put the 8 into the top 5. Back up for P2. Braxton DeWeese all over the back bumper.
Yeah,
Bailey Turner into turn 3.
Working hard here, Logan. He's trying to do a slider, but he can't get clear. This time, I think he will. And we'll see a crossover, barely clear.
Splitting hairs coming out of turn 4. So here's the battle we just saw between Turner and Cabot. It didn't go well for Turner. Can he recover here and keep DeWeese behind? He does out of 2. 0 takes the top line this time. Not as high as you would expect to see a run on the wall. And you can tell coming out of the corner, he just doesn't get the run to be competitive down into turn 1. But passes take time to set up here. This isn't just a handover of positions very frequently at Homestead. This is methodical, to say the least.
Yeah, it reminds me of the games I hate. Turn-based. Takes forever. You gotta wait and wait and wait. And if you make one mistake in the midst, you know, this is 3 or 4 laps that Braxton's been trying to get around the 24. And right there, you saw he got a little bit tight. He cleared, but because he didn't get a good run off, didn't complete that slide in time, Turner got the crossover, and he's right back in front of him.
Like comparing checkers and chess, and you know, you can take a look at the front half of the season. Sorry to rain on your parade, Bradley, but you can almost call Daytona checkers. And this race today is going to be all about chess. Who can make the right moves at the right time and come home victorious. One of these 3 in the top 3 will be a champion after today.
I got one better for you, Logan.
Let's hear it.
Daytona is the peg game at Cracker Barrel. That's what it is. That's what it feels like.
You just put it wherever you can, and then you find out what happens at the end.
Yep.
And nobody actually knows the rules. You just go out there, you go fast, turn left. Today, you have to slow down just a touch. Still 182 miles an hour down into turn 1 for our leaders. Taking it back to talk about these points here, Bradley. Of course, Turner Cabot separated by 8. Braxton DeWeese out by 12. So for either one of those drivers to get a win tonight isn't going to be enough. There's only 3 points that separate the first place points and the second place points. So you're gonna need Cabot to make a mistake, and you're gonna need Turner to make a mistake if you're DeWeese. That's putting a lot of unhatched eggs in a basket before counting them. You know how that saying goes. It doesn't go well most of the time, but that is what DeWeese has to bank on today.
Yeah.
He can put together the best race of his entire career here in BTDY, be victorious at Homestead, and still not be crowned a champion. As a driver, that's heartbreaking.
It's frustrating. And I guess the scenario that you always want to be in is relying on yourself to come out and perform, not relying on others to not. When you come into a race like this, where you know it's the last one, you just got to keep hanging around. He's doing that. So he's staying pace with the leaders. He's staying pace with the guys that he's chasing. But you can't rely on Cabot and Turner to have a bad race, because you know that these 2 drivers have been the class of the field all season. 7 wins here on the season. Dominant regular season. And had a huge advantage into the chase. Adam Cabot has just been phenomenal. And we've come to know that here on VSPEED. We've seen Cabot in other series. We've watched him race on Tuesdays, Saturdays, and a little bit on Friday nights. He's been here for a long time, and everywhere we go, there's a chance that you can see him in victory lanes. Kind of Jeff Gordon-esque, you know, in the 90s. But Turner has turned it up. That's not a pun intended, but the 24 car has been bad fast, and it took a little while for him, I think, to get used to this next-gen stock car. But remember, he's got a championship on Saturday nights in this car. He was able to get it done, and I think he's got this thing figured out. I think he's in a situation the same as Braxton, though. They both need Adam Cabot to have something go wrong, and that's just not where you want to be.
And not to say it's unlikely for Cabot to, have an issue. I mean, we're talking about the two drivers, 1 and 2 right now, between Cabot and Turner. They come into this race kind of middle of the field in terms of incident points throughout the season. Coming in 67 points for Cabot, 65 points for Turner. And then you completely flip the script for the two drivers behind him in points. DeWeese and Hatchell coming in with the lowest incident points throughout the season of the full-time drivers. So
I think Bailey would probably argue that 60 of those points came from Adam Cabot. So
exactly. I mean, you've got 60 coming from Cabot, and it's the same flip side for the 17. 60 of them coming from the 24. So it's you see the drivers that typically find themselves together on track doing pretty well the same thing every week. So it's that's kind of what I was getting at there. Is Luis is in a great spot, rolling P3 right now. If Turner and Cabot get going at it here at the end of this race, I mean, it could happen. I'm just saying, there is still that possibility. However, we have lost 4 drivers so far, so it would be impossible for Cabot, Turner, or Deweese to finish any lower than P15 at the moment, with Angelo Veronis back behind the pit wall. More connection issues for the 22. Jake Miller, Zach Smith both having issues on track. Looks like Miller has brought it back to the garage, electing for an early ending tonight now. Of course, Dennis Fairclough, his exit just 6 laps into the race. So the window is very, very small for the 00. But again, not impossible. And, if there's one thing I've learned around these parts now, Bradley, in my short tenure with VSPEED, it's never discount the underdog.
Watching back here around 4th position, Seth Hatchell able to get around Eric Hutton. Ray Massey followed suit. Chris Samard, the next one in line. Hutton, your pole sitter, starting to struggle here in the long run. About 35 laps on this stint with 80% fuel. I would expect pit stops within the next 15 laps or so. But Hutton going the wrong way.
Down on the scoring pylon rather than up. The 88, of course, did not get a chance to lead a lap. Cabot was too fast off of that green flag start. Hasn't really looked back since. That'll be another bonus point in the favor of the 17 once he crosses that 75 lap threshold. Most laps led in a race, so about 30 to go to that point, making it even more difficult for Turner and Deweese.
I'm kind of wondering, if you're Turner right now, you're losing ground. Do you undercut? Try to make that ground up? I mean, inevitably, you're going to be battling with Cabot right out of the gate, or do you go an extra lap or two to try and have something for him at the end of this run? Because those two going side by side, I'm pretty sure that hurt Bailey Turner more than anything. If Braxton Deweese had to work really hard to get up to these drivers, he's in the best position because he can do whatever Cabot does, and he can have the speed to get around Turner. I like where the 00 is on pit road here. He can kind of do whatever he wants. But if you're Cabot and Turner, you're focused on these two drivers are focused on each other. And I know Cabot, if he continues to stretch this lead out, we're going to go all the way to the fuel till it runs out. He will run this thing until it's bone dry before he hits pit lane.
Thinking about this, to me, Homestead is a track position map, or track. Is a track position track. Try to say that 10 times fast. Anyways, I would have to go with the undercut. come back out, get ahead of the 17, try to make up some ground as he will lose some time if he elects to stay out any longer than you do. Force the hand of Cabot to make that decision. You know, is he going to stay out and go long to the end? Does he immediately respond with fresh tires of his own? I think Turner or DeWeese, the cards are in their hand. It's just really going to depend on how they play them here, but I think the undercut would be the smart idea. Get out ahead, keep some dirty air on the nose of the 17. We've seen how that's worked out for him. Maybe if you can get out far enough, if he does elect to take it all the way to the lap 50 mark, we're talking about just 10 laps away from our fuel window that we've been told. That could be a big distance on the track. Some cars follow you. He'll have some traffic to contend with. The worse of a position that you can put your competition in here, the better off you are.
Watching Seth Hatchell. It's been a couple laps here that Hatchell's turned faster lap times than the leaders, so he's actually catching up to DeWeese a little bit. Watch it again this time by. Not a lot, but it is faster. Last lap time on the left-hand side of your screen. We're talking hundredths of a second, but he is faster than everybody else in the top 5.
And, you know, Hatchell was doing the same thing last week. He was bad fast out there in the long run, and just unfortunately things happened, and it just the long run never fully got developed.
We got a car off the racetrack.
We got a lot of smoke down there at the entrance of pit road.
I think this was the 7 of Paul Hahn trying to come to pit road. Watch this. The 7 almost hits the pit barrels. Got down on the apron a little sooner than he anticipated and snapped it free.
Tis but a scratch. It will buff out. A small tap to the left rear inside pit wall. The 7 of Hahn gets rolling again. He will fall out of pit lane just behind the 17. Bailey Turner will likely get around as well before Hahn gets fully up to the song. Alan Dice elected to bring it down as well. Michael Jones was actually the first taker to pit road about 7 laps ago. The 2 came down. He's 1 lap down at the moment. Be interesting to see where he cycles out here as everybody else makes their stop. I know he was back there just outside of the top 10 before making his stop.
I don't know where Adam Cabot found that, but he just pulled another 3 tenths on the rest of this top 5. He ran a 33.814. That's 2 tenths faster than Bailey. That's about 3 tenths faster than Braxton. Seth Hatchell's going to compete now as I believe the 00 is coming down for the undercut. So is Turner.
So's Turner. There's the 55 of Adkins coming in behind. He's coming in from the 10th position.
Oh,
Stop DeWeese through the box.
Just a foot past the line there. He had to back it up. That's going to lose him some time, and this undercut might not mean anything.
Just recognize the screaming chicken pit board as well.
Yeah. That is be,
hilarious, Eric Hutton. I love that. Keep up the good work, sir. Back on track. Hatchell clear of Ray Massey by 6 tenths of a second. Your current race leader with about 3, maybe 4 laps to go on fuel. You know, the 8 machine is also extremely good at extending the fuel run. Here comes Cabot. His response early. Oh, and the worst case scenario happens. There's a yellow, the front stretch. It is the 77 of Chris Samard. what has happened to Samard?
Maybe Ray Massey coming to pit road here. No, he just gets loose.
It's kind of the opposite of the snap loose that we saw. It actually drove it down to the bottom of the track. Another just glancing blow off the inside wall, outside of the pit lane this time.
Now, Cabot didn't go a lap down here, but he was close. He was really close. Watch this one more time, Logan. Right here, you see the 17. Seth Hatchell's coming through 3 and 4 right here. So watch where the 8 car is. And the caution
Cabot
comes out right there.
Barely safe.
I mean, that's, if that caution came out 5 seconds later, Cabot's a lap down. But they freeze the field here. Cabot's going to stay on the lead lap, and the rest of these drivers that haven't hit pit lane will come down. And I think Adam Cabot's going to end up being your leader anyway.
Yeah, that's how it seems to be unfolding. Our lap traffic starts with Turner on back.
Yep.
As we've got the rest of the field finally making their stops.
It's going to be a wave around for Deweese. Turner getting the free pass position.
Wave around for everybody here because everybody ahead pit. Adam Cabot came out.
Now, with Cabot being out on the racetrack, I don't know how iRacing would score this. These cars that are ahead of him will get the wave around. But guys like Ryan Gimmel, who's pinned a lap down now, Thomas Brindle, it might put Cabot ahead of these guys. I don't know.
That's what I'm waiting to see, how this unfolds. That looks exactly like it's going to be. 6 Gimmel falling in line behind the 17. All the drivers ahead of him this time by should go around the pace car. We'll double it back up. They'll rejoin the tail end of the field, the inside line. There goes Deweese on the loud pedal. Because they'll be catching up about into turn 3. So they won't have a whole lot of time to get settled in before the restart with this wave around. There's Gimmel. You saw he was hoping he would get the wave around as well as to fall down to the bottom of the track. Man, what a mess this one has turned out to be from that. That was...
One yellow. We're all one yellow away.
It's always one yellow away.
Yeah. And you can try to play these scenarios in your head 1,000 times before you come in here and prep and do all that practice, but you never really know how things are going to fall. You can just personally prepare, and after that, it's kind of like getting on the highway in California. You don't really know what's going to happen around you.
You just mash the loud pedal and drive through it as best as you can. At least that's what I've been told. I promise I have no experience with that. Pace car pulls off. Into the restart zone we go. Restart number 2 underway for the season finale of the BTDY FloridaSkinDoctor.com Racing Series. It is also the Florida Skin Doctor 250. Apologize, 225.
We got 3 wide there. Michael Jones on the outside. He got clear. Bailey Turner gets buried back. He has Braxton Deweese in 6th position. Got a few cars that are a lap down out ahead of these drivers because of the wave by and the 34 up into the outside wall. Brendel trying to hold on to it.
Not sure what washed the 34 up the track that hard. think he picked up any extra damage from it. Keeps it off the wall this time through 1 and 2. The scramble is on. Looks like it'll single file out this time down the back straight. Fans back out into turns 3 and 4.
Again, Gimmel a lap down, fighting with Michael Jones for that free pass position if we do get a caution. Also have James Loveland a lap down as well in the 0-2. So this is all for that lucky pass. 6 car to the inside. He's going to dive down below Michael Jones in the entry of 3. But again, this is holding up Bailey Turner and Braxton DeWeese. They can't get through this. Gimmel gets clear. They brush the wall. This is right in front of points leaders.
Didn't give Turner hardly any room to drive up off the corner. Skittles number 2 will hang on to the outside line again, but there goes the 24, finally clear. There goes DeWeese trying to follow. He'll shoot the bottom through 3 and 4. Jones keeps it up top, out of the way for the 0-0.
Meanwhile, we got a battle for 4th. The car on the wall is Dallas Sullivan in 5th position. Ray Massey look to the inside. Eric Hutton rebounds to the 3rd spot with the way everything fell, but he still looks like he's struggling.
Well, Bradley, if we can take this one the length that we did the last run, this will be a good telltale sign as to the difference in front speed, front half speed. Oh, wow. What a snap from Hatchell. Just about to mention, the difference in driving between Cabot and Hatchell at the front end of the run versus the back end of the run.
I had a mirror full of hot chicken there coming off of 4. Let's see if we could go back. I don't know what happened there to Hatchell that created that, but watch the hands.
It's just the dirty air there.
He missed the shift.
3rd.
Yep.
Trying to recover. Maybe a slight scrape at the wall. I tell you what, that looked a whole lot worse from outside of the car than it did inside.
I got you.
That looked rather manageable. So, yeah, exactly.
This is the downshift there. That's the downshift to 3rd. That's where he lost all of his ground. And the brush with the wall was just him saying, oh no, I just lost all that momentum. I don't want to get in the way. Those are the other things that you try to prepare yourself every week, Logan. That's just a mistake, and that's 100 miles into this race. You start to get tunnel vision. Things start to feel muscle memory, and then you realize, oh, I was already in 4th gear.
Yeah, that is not the ideal scenario. Luckily, didn't lose too much ground because of it. You say you can never be prepared for everything. I certainly wasn't prepared for the tinnitus ring to be replaced by the screaming chicken that I'm forced to stare at here on Eric Hutton's machine. It's hilarious, but it's also terrifying in the same sense. As through the inside we go. James Loveland stuck in the middle, the O2 machine.
It's Dallas Sullivan. They were 3 wide. Yeah. Turner through the middle. Braxton Louise trying to follow him through this traffic. And again, you have Loveland, who's trying to stay ahead of Ryan Gimmel in case caution does come out. Free pass position for 12th spot. Gimmel has not been able to get to the O2. Excuse me, and he's been working around these guys on the lead lap, being very courteous, but at the same time, he's got a race of his own going on, and he finally gets to Loveland coming off a 2.
Six machine looking pretty fast here. Loveland, the first car 1 lap down. That is the battle Bradley's referring to for that lucky dog position. DeWeese gets clear of the Tide machine. Side by side with Gimmel on the inside for the lucky dog. Dive down to the bottom, the dirty air on the nose of Loveland. I think the 6 will prevail through the bottom. Even Jones follows there. So Loveland loses 2 in one corner. It's out from behind the 46 of Sullivan, back down in line behind Gimmel and Jones. Back up towards the front, Seth Hatchell, P4, followed by Turner DeWeese, Sullivan, or rather Gimmel, then Sullivan. Added Massey Hutton at the front. Eric Hutton applying some pressure to Ray Massey. It was about a 1/10 of a second between the two entering turn 1. Massey took the low line, Hutton on the top of the track. Some separation down the back straight. Hutton closed that gap into turn 3. I don't know, it just doesn't look like the 88 is really getting the full rotation that he needs to make a move around the outside. You see there's a lot of ground gained into the corner. Mid-corner, the 23 starts to pull back away. Then the speed off the top line out of the corner is what's keeping Hutton there. That time he gets a much better run off of turn 2.
Where do you go with it? You know, it's if you're running the outside and you're comfortable, confident up there, you've got to be able to run the bottom to get the pass done. That's just how this track is. It's fast up top and pass on the bottom. That's how it has to be. And if the 23 is going to keep running down there and sliding up on the exit, where do you go?
I mean, it's all about the minor adjustments. And right now is the perfect time to start devising that plan. You'll see where you can generate your runs. These will likely be your competitors at the end of the race. So get used to who you're driving around. Again, generate your runs, take your notes, devise your plan for the last, I would say, 15 laps of the race, depending on how far you are behind the leader at the time. Of course, we'll see one more pit stop on the event, so one more opportunity for mistakes to be made on pit road, which have proven to be detrimental, not only here in BTDY, but throughout the other various series that we cover here on VSPEED. It happens to everybody. Just depends on how bad you get got.
Something else I'm watching here. Brian Gimmel, who's fighting to stay the free pass position, that lucky pass, he's caught up to the top 5. He's been trying so hard to stay on this free pass position that he's running lap times faster than some of the top 5. Maybe he should always be a lap down mentality. He would probably be up here in 4th or 5th position right now.
I know Gimmel's off a recent run in a short track oval configuration. Not quite in the ARCA car that we're used to seeing that 6 driver in. So maybe getting some real life time on the oval tracks coming into favor for Ryan Gimmel tonight. See if he can continue this push as Loveland applying pressure all over the back bumper of Gimmel. Imagine these two able to drive right on past the top 5 and start battling for that lucky dog ahead of the field. Well, I guess at that point it wouldn't be the lucky dog anymore.
Yeah, they'd be back on the lead
around
lap.
The leader, back on the lead lap, just waiting for a yellow to catch up to the rest of the field.
That would be something.
That position over to Michael Jones, so that could be a best of all worlds for all 3 drivers.
Dive to the inside, 0-2, looking again. This is the closest battle for position that we have next to Cody Atkins right behind him. Trying to get around Dallas Sullivan.
And hats off to Michael Jones here, staying right behind this battle between Gimmel and Loveland.
Yeah.
If something happens to them, he's in the best seat in the house to navigate it, pick up the lucky dog, and get right back on the lead lap. He's got that battle behind him. He'll have to keep his eye on the mirror between the 46 and the 55. But Jones, despite being a lap down, in a really competitive position here.
There's Samar
right
looking
in
inside
the middle of the
Alan
field.
Dice. A lot of 2x2 back here.
It's that middle of the run tire wear starting to come into play. About 21 to 28 laps completed, depending on what driver you're looking at.
I slide there from the 77.
Dice and Hahn, the two oldest tires in the field, the 5 and the 7. Rest of the field closer to that 22, 23. Oh, 3 wide offset. Adkins in the middle.
He almost made it work.
Morgan holds it off. Can Smart do anything with it this time? Is the 55 is even getting a little bit of pressure applied from Alan Dice from behind.
A wiggle.
Smart gets the nose just ahead. The 55 wiggles, but keeps the speed up off the corner. He'll get clear of Smart again. Pulls the 5 of Dice to the door of the 77. I think Samard might, if he can't get clear of the 55 soon, he'll likely end up behind Dice.
They're cutting back on offense, starting to work for the second position on Ray Massey. We were watching that battle back here around the 8th position. Samard side by side again. Then you had Ryan Gimmel, which car hit the wall in the background. I don't know if that was Alan Dice. Somebody hit the wall hard. It might have been Thomas Brendel. I just heard it there. I don't know where that was.
I can't even find it on my side of things here.
Oh,
the anomalies.
55. And that settles that.
Well, he is the first one to successfully save it from that snap loose. Oh, there goes Dice into the wall. So he'll get back ahead of the 5. I don't know. Dice just put together a great run off the top of the corner. He'll actually drive back around the 55, the 4 turn 1. Up here on board with Braxton Weiss running P5. Of course, just behind competitor Bailey Turner for that chase for the cup. Adam Cabot, he's worked his way about 2.1, 2.2 seconds ahead of both of these drivers. A solid 1 second lead over Ray Massey and Eric Hutton. Tell you what, Turner and DeWeese are both catching up to the 88 here. It's kind of the same thing that we saw from the first run. Eric Hutton had great speed at the beginning, stayed competitive. That mid-run speed started to fade, and by the end of the run on the tires, just wasn't quite competitive enough. We'll have to make some sort of an adjustment here into the third run of the race.
I would stop running the top so much. You've seen a lot of people going down to the bottom, Logan. It seems like that's saving the tires. The 88's been super committed to this high line. It probably is turning faster lap times in the short run, but again, like you said, after we get past that 30 lap mark, he starts to fade out.
That's right where we're closing in on here. 27 laps completed for Massey and Hutton, 31 for Cabot and Turner. Again, you see where Turner still has a speed on the bottom, despite the slightly older tires than the 88 team. Staying right with him, door to door now through 1 and 2. Gets the nose ahead on the bottom. I believe the 88 had to check up there because the 24, he got clear, sole possession of P3 now for Turner.
DeWeese is going to try to follow through. He's going to get caught at a bad time.
Yeah, the 00, I think, needs to move up about a half a lane there. Get some clean air on the nose. Make a good round in your corner. Make a drive off to get next to the 88. Staying in that dirty air of Bailey Turner, I don't think it's going to help DeWeese in any sense. We get door to door this time, sliding up the track. Has about a half a lane between them. Turner driving away from this battle, so that dirty air starting to go away for DeWeese. Should be quite competitive off of 2 here. However, Hutton gets a great drive off, a small wiggle from the 00. But again, right back to what we talked about earlier, how turns 1 and 2 just feel so different from 3 and 4. I think DeWeese too steep of a angle of attack there into 3. A good battle here for that 4th position.
While they're doing this, Ray Massey and Adam Cabot have pulled away. I mean, Cabot's 1.5 ahead of the 23, who's another 0.8 of a second ahead of Bailey Turner. And we're coming up on pit stops. I would say stretch this out as far as you can. Have right around that 37, 38 laps to go. When you come down to pit, I think we can make it to that window.
Looking at it for some of these drivers, you know, we're lap 32 at the bottom of the freshest tires. So about 18 laps to go for some. We got
wiggle there from Hutton.
15 to 12 laps to go for others. The 00. DeWeese door to door into turn 1.
He almost got him on the outside last time. Logan come off of 4. Hutton ended up getting by him on the bottom. So much time lost.
Wide
here
job.
So much time lost for Braxton. Finally. Hey, lights are on.
The lights are indeed on. I will eat my hat. What I said earlier, it is dusk at Homestead, Miami. Not quite dark, but it helps these drivers more and more as the sun goes down. 91 degrees on the track surface now, and it will only get cooler once the darkness falls. 50 laps to go coming up. Things are looking great for the 17 team.
Cody Atkins, Alan Dice still going at it for this top 10. 9th position, 55. Got a little loose there last time we had him up on the camera. Now that the lights are on, track's cooling down. Maybe the 55 can surge back and get closer. Dallas Sullivan and Chris Smart were drivers that he was battling with earlier. And that's the other part of this. This racetrack's ever changing. So we talk about track temperature, Logan. A very hot racetrack might favor some of these guys in the top 5. They can drive it off on the right rears. You've seen how that's not went well for some drivers with the overcorrections. Now that it's cooling down, might favor some of these guys who've been running 7th and 8th all day.
Keep my eye on that 8 machine of Hatchell starting to close up to Eric Hutton there. And we talked earlier about how good he can be in the long run. I think he might be one of those drivers that could really benefit from the temperature coming down the way that it has. Whenever we took it to this previous restart, he started 2nd front row outside line. Fell all the way back to, I believe, the 8th position. He's gotten back to P6 now, looking to stake claim in the top 5 again. Strategy is always a big part of Hatchell's race. So I wonder if he took any time to maybe check out the weather forecast and see what the track might do and kind of set up his game plan with the latter half of the race. Struggling to get around that 88. Hutton doing a great job of defending from that top line.
Hutton's been up top all race long, so he knows how to defend this. He's been passed a few times off of it, but he's staying committed to it. So you got to admire Logan that he's staying up there. And it might come back.
Very well could. We have no idea. We're up here in the booth. We're not feeling the driving conditions down there on the track, so it's an entirely different ball game to talk about it and then to be about it. Take a look at the 77, Chris Samard. He's also catching up to these two. So battling side by side bit, driving off the corner side by side between Hatchell and Hutton, slowing them down just enough to allow Samard back into the equation for this 5th spot himself. I'd say that's a pretty cool camera angle there.
It's one of my favorites. Need to get it on the right side. Watch that wall ride on the cushion, taking the Larson line. If I had that dialed in on the right side, Eric Hutton has flirted with it a few times. He's going to flirt with it again.
Oh, man. I've seen credit cards with looser fitment than that. That was tight with the wall there. The 88 not afraid of earning a Homestead stripe. Hatchell does finally get clear. The 77 had a look to the inside. Didn't do much with it there.
That's quite the analogy, Logan.
Hey, we're full of them here at VSPEED. Let me tell you, Bradley, it's a good time.
Bailey Turner down pit road. Here we go.
Early taker. I like it. Forces the hand of Adam Cabot. We had about a 2.5 second separation between the two.
It's right at the 44 mark.
Cabot on the bottom, but keeps it on the track another time around for the 17. So we might actually see an undercut come into play here. Here comes Braxton DeWeese, Dallas Sullivan. Ooh, he barely snakes in.
Now, it was about this time that we had that caution.
Say that.
I'm just mentioning. I'm just reminding everyone at home what happened.
Currently holding my breath.
While you're doing that, Ray Massey's coming down pit road. Braxton DeWeese has hit the pit lane, the 24 to the undercut for everything here. Eric Hutton still out on the racetrack. Adam Cabot still out there. Seth Hatchell, 7.7 seconds behind. It is a massive gap from what would be around the 5th position. Chris Samard yet to pit. 48 laps on the stint here for Cabot. And he is putting on a clinic. He has officially got the bonus point for most laps led. No one going to take that away.
So make it a gap of 9 that Bailey Turner would have to make up. 13 for Braxton DeWeese. And we are down to 14 active drivers in the field. Cody Adkins being scored as 4 laps down. So take that back. It'll be 13. No, Adkins still is in the field. I apologize. 55 turning laps right behind Ray Massey at the moment. '88 out of his pit stall. Don't mind the pace car.
See if we can find out what happened to the 55.
Yeah.
Not sure if he had a black flag penalty.
He had a 3.5 minute stop.
Yeah, I would.
So he either needed to step away for a second, or he had quite a bit of damage to repair. Maybe a bit more than what we imagined from, getting into the wall on corner exit. Hard saying. Seth Hatchell brings it down. Adam Cabot is in his pit stall at the moment. Turner coming down the back straight. The right sides are up for the 17. The left sides will go up Is Turner coming through 3 and 4? It'll be close, but Cabot will remain in the lead coming out of turn 2. How fast can the 17 get back up to speed? There he is entering the picture. It's only about a 10-mile-an-hour difference, so it won't be enough for Bailey Turner to close that gap. He will be full push to catch up to the 17, where Cabot can enter this in a small save mode if he wants to. Retain some tire, but all the clean air that he has ahead of him, there's no point.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to save it all. He's going to get it wound up, and right there, you're already seeing it come back. That's a 5-lap difference on tires here for Turner. He was just hoping that there would be an error on pit road for Cabot, or another caution, an untimely caution. Could have put him in a good situation that got him last time. Got him pinned behind a lot of the field. But even at that, Cabot, he's going to continue to pull this lead out. We've got under 40 to go. I think we're looking at the champion right here.
Well, one of them up here in the top 3 will be. I would say if you bet on black right now, it would probably hit. Cabot looking phenomenal today. He's been on a tear this season. Of course, 7 wins so far. Looking to make it 8. And a championship to his name. You know, and to take a look back at the season for Cabot, a lot of, you know, I don't want to say controversy. He hasn't found himself in a lot of trouble, but whenever it comes to the technical issues that he has faced through the season, I mean, we're talking about a driver who started extremely hot at the beginning of the season, didn't necessarily fall into a slump in terms of performance, but technically it went bad in the middle of the season. It went worse at the beginning of the playoffs. Finally got things turned around. He's been able to finish the last 3-4 races now, and he has catapulted himself up here into the #1 spot in the points. Comes down to perseverance, determination, and just downright grit.
I think I've used this analogy before, but play till the whistle. You have to stay out here on the track, and the first moment that comes to mind is that rollover at our road course there earlier in the season. I believe it was week 7 or 8. The car was completely on its lid, and he comes back to finish in 2nd spot. So for anybody to push the car, I mean, one, he got lucky, because most of the time you roll a car, it's done for the day. But he locks it up into the sand trap, brings it back to a podium finish, and that's what he's done all season. He's put the car back into the best case scenario. Yes, we've had mistakes. We've had controversy with Bailey Turner. We've had wrecks, and we've had technical issues with the car or hardware, whatever the case may be. But if you can make the best out of every single race, every single day, you're going to find yourself in the hunt and leading here at Homestead. That's the best that you can talk for. Adam Cabot's just really that good.
And to just give credit to that whole camp, too. I mean, being teammates with his competitor for the Cup, Bailey Turner, he's also had his setbacks through the season, too. You know, the multiple run-ins that those two have had together, but they still come out of the season with over half the race wins, 11 combined between the two, looking to make it 12 tonight. And, you know, it's been a flip-flop in the top 3 of points. And just to give Braxton DeWeese his flowers as well, I mean, he had a hell of a run taking the lead of the points going into Bristol, only having the 2 wins that he has. And then, of course, issues at Auto Club last week. That's really what set him back here. But if Auto Club goes differently for the 0-0, it is a much tighter battle for the points lead. And you know, we're talking about Bailey Turner being in 3rd place, 8 points behind. Braxton DeWeese either in the lead or behind Cabot by just 1 or 2 points going into this one. So a completely different potential outcome if just a few races in the last few weeks went just a little differently. It's incredible if you bust down the script from the very beginning, Bradley. Nothing has really gone to plan for anybody. And here we are at Miami Homestead, just a few more miles away from crowning a champion. And I have to say, of the 3 that we have potentially taking this one, I don't know if you can really look at anybody as the underdog. They've all had their moments.
43.5 miles left for Adam Cabot to claim the championship. Bailey Turner, Braxton Weiss, Seth Hatchell, top 4 on the track, top 4 in points for Samard. Trying to get around Seth Hatchell there a moment ago. We were watching that battle for 4th position. Alan Dice on the outside. Ray Massey, the 23 car, was in the top 5 earlier, now struggling.
It's to the inside down the back straight. We get just ahead by about 1/10 of a second. The 23 will reel him back in coming down the front straight. It's only about a 2 to 3 mile an hour difference between their lines, but it looks incredible on the camera.
It's a slide. 5 cars sideways. Saves it.
There's the second one to save it. And there's the first one right behind him.
Not for position. Cody Atkins, again, had that long pit road of 3.5 minutes. So he is 6 laps down, not for position. It's Paul Hahn in 10th position. James Loveland, Ryan Gimmel, early exit to this session. So 14 cars on the racetrack. And it's been the Adam Cabot show. 114 laps led. Still has the potential here to add another 26 to that.
By the looks of it, with a 2.5 second lead, no more scheduled pit stops on the event. It is likely to happen. Now it's a question of how far can Cabot stretch this lead? And does that one specific colored flag stay put? I don't even want to say the word.
Well, I can tell you this. We're going to say this word. We're going to take a word from our sponsors here and take a quick commercial break in the closing laps here in Season 6, BTDY. We'll be right back here on VSPEED.
Rogers, MD Dermatology. We specialize in providing comprehensive expert care for the full spectrum of skin conditions, from complex skin diseases and skin cancer to aging concerns and aesthetic needs. With decades of combined experience in medical, surgical, and aesthetic dermatology, our team brings both deep clinical knowledge and a patient-first approach to every visit. Our practice focuses on developing personalized treatment plans tailored to each individual's skin, health, and life stage. We're located in Port St. Lucie, Florida, in the PSL Professional Center. Learn more or schedule a visit at floridaskindoctor.com.
Steel Graphics and Designs creates custom racing wraps and logos built for the real world and iRacing. From bold liveries to clean, professional branding, every design is made to perform on and off the track. Ready to upgrade your look? Contact Steel Graphics and Designs for custom wraps. Visit Steel Graphics and Designs on Facebook to learn more.
Backed by 70 years of experience, Duncan Water Systems specializes in commercial and residential water system testing, design, installation, and maintenance. Our mission at Duncan Water Systems is to provide high-quality water solutions to every customer. We pride ourselves on being responsive, honest, and customer-oriented. Our priority is safer water for you and your family. Contact us via call, text, email, or visit us at duncanwatersystems.com.
Well, we're back, ladies and gentlemen, and not much has changed. Of course, you saw that there on the side-by-side, keeping all the live action right here on the screen for you on VSPEED. Adam Cabot still 2.5 seconds up the road from Bailey Turner, 2.5 seconds up the road from Braxton DeWeese. Seth Hatchell 3 seconds behind DeWeese, being pressured by teammate Chris Samard. I don't know if I would necessarily say pressured. Smart hasn't quite made an attempt to make a pass on the 8 machine. But the closest battle on the track right now between Hatchell Samard and Dallas Sullivan, 46 Tide machine, about 0.6 of a second behind. But close enough to keep things interesting. Lap 132 on the board, well over 100 laps led for Adam Cabot.
There's a stab. There's one.
Hey, there's an attempt. Can the 77 make it stick? They'll come out side by side with Hatchell, giving plenty of room. The drive off the corner goes in favor of the top side, as we've seen multiple times today. But Samard kept it competitive down the front straight. Didn't fall too far behind and immediately attacks in 1 and 2 again.
Saving his tires. And again, this track has changed, Logan. The 8 car was bad fast in the long run. We haven't quite hit that transition to where he pulls away. Lap time wise, about 0.3 off of the leaders. Adam Cabot still in the top spot, 2.1 seconds ahead. Braxton DeWeese, the fastest car in the top 3, too little too late. Unless we get a yellow, I'd say the 00 is not going to win this race. Maybe this track fit his, you know, if it got cold, chilled down a little bit, but now we're at 90 degrees. If it would started like that, we might have seen the 00 front all day.
Yeah, could have very easily been a different race, and we've talked enough about, you know, the what ifs, the could have beens, you know, up until this point. But here we are with the race that we've been handed. Smart and Hatchell still going at it for that 4th position.
Sullivan's creeping closer too.
Sullivan's just waiting for either or both of these drivers to make a mistake and get a 2-for-1 situation. Hatchell way up on the wall that time.
There's
Slight scrape, the 77 loose on the bottom.
That could be Sullivan's chance to pounce.
Might be his only chance to pounce as we are inside 15 to go.
It's going to take a lot of laps for that 77 to cool that right rear down now. I don't know if we'll see another attempt at a position. I think Dallas Sullivan's going to start making a run for 5th here.
At least start applying the pressure. See if you can force Samard into overdriving the car. Make another mistake here in the last runnings of the race. Of course, you know, you don't want to potentially flip the race on its head with a mental mistake of your own. These drivers at this point, you know, Bailey Turner starting to close that gap up. He's now within 0.2 of a second, down from 2.5. But Cabot, you know, he doesn't have to push it.
Yeah.
So he can just sit and watch, listen to his spotter up there, letting him know just how far Turner is. And Yeah, exactly. No reason to force the issue here. Save what you can. Hold on for it if you have a battle at the end, but 2 seconds is a lot of ground to cover in such short time.
Yeah, he would need a tenth, probably 2/10 a lap here, and that's just not happening this time by. Yeah, it's going to run at 33.677 is a tenth faster than Bailey Turner, so as long as he can do that, he can go back and forth. He could even afford to lose a second if he wanted to, but I don't think he's going to do that. Smart got back to it. He's trying a different line, getting loose again, but he's still going after Seth Hatchell.
Hey, willing to try. That's all you can ask for. 77 won't give up easily. That just goes to show, the competition levels here on these Tuesday nights.
Yep.
Might be a small group here with only 19 taking the green flag, but it's always a battle somewhere.
I don't think we've seen the end of it here for the top 5.
No. Marge got to stay right here with Hatchell. Closes up that gap on corner exit, picking up what little bit of draft Homestead actually provides. Close up to that back bumper, but then you have to watch your drive into the next corner. He'll offset again, just one lane up from Hatchell. Small bobble for the 8, the 77, a graze of the wall. Inside 10 now to go. Cabot immediately flipped that 2-second lead to Turner into 3 seconds. 2.8 on the board now in favor of the 17. See a little bit of lap traffic behind him as well that Turner will have to compete with to catch up. I would say it is all but over at this point. The battle between Hutton and Ray Massey for P7. Three on the bottom line. Couldn't quite get there to pick up the side draft down the front straight. But again, the 88 just fully committed the entire race to that top line.
Yeah, it's been every single lap, and ultimately it's hurt him. He knows how to run it. He's done a fantastic job with it. But I think if he would have learned the bottom a little bit here today, he might have been better off. Definitely a faster car up top in the early run. Of course, got the pole position, but it's a shame he didn't get to lead a lap here today. Definitely had some speed, but fastest line isn't always the best when you come to Homestead. Sometimes it's about conservation, and that, 30, 40 laps into the run, Adam Cabot has proven that he has the goods. As we approach 5 to go, Bailey Turner, Braxton DeWeese, and Seth Hatchell top 4 in points, running 1, 2, 3, 4 the same way they came into this race. Logan, I put it all on black. It's a dice roll, but we didn't see the calamity that we saw earlier in the season. We didn't see really anything egregious. Turner and Cabot went back and forth early in the race. I think they were humoring each other. But ultimately, Cabot could have came in second and let Bailey Turner by, and it still wouldn't have mattered.
Yeah, this was essentially the 17 teams' race to lose. But coming in here, we'll have at least 3/4 of this race in control of that car on your screen right now. A drive to end all drives for Adam Cabot. Could nearly fall all the way to the back of the field. If he came in the top 10 right now, I think he would still
he'd still lock
be
it up
ahead of Turner.
Yeah. Braxton DeWeese, again, if you don't have this race fall the way it fell, I think everything still is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4. That's where we are. It's just the separation of points. There wasn't enough cars on this track tonight to rely on anything like that to happen.
Things could still happen. We could still see a different winner. Cabot crosses the line, leaves us with 4 to go.
That lead is stretched so much, Logan.
Yeah, it is 4 seconds now over Turner with
It's
just
doubled
6 miles
in
remaining.
10 laps.
And it continues to grow.
Yeah.
I mean, Cabot last time was a 33.638 versus a 33.867. And being 40 laps into the run, that's some of the fastest lap times we've seen this late in the run. Of course, the coolest track temperatures we're going to see all race long. 3 to go at the line. 896 versus I believe that was apologize. Cabot ran a 596 last time. That was the best lap times on the board there. 596 for Cabot, 818 for Turner. You could pretty well close the book here. Just don't quite put it on the shelf yet. 2 to go at the line this time for Cabot. Hatchell still holding off Samard for that P4 position. This is your closest battle in the field. Everything else is separated by at least 2 seconds. This green flag run has really proved who can manage the dirty air, who can conserve their tires. Didn't quite come down to the fuel run. That is perfectly fine by me. 1.5 more miles to go. Cabot to the inside of Thomas Brindle. Clear of the 34. Out of 2 with turn 3 in his sights.
5-second lead.
3/4 of a mile.
Turned it up so much here at the end, Logan. He's gonna stamp it now. New champion here, season 6. Adam Cabot gets it done.
In phenomenal fashion at that. 141 laps led for your season 6 champion. One of the drivers who faced the most adversity through the entire season rebounds and comes home victorious tonight and on the season as a whole. Congratulatory bump from teammate Bailey Turner as the 17 works his way back around, trying to force him down pit road. No celebration for Cabot.
There's 4 or 5 more incident points there that they forgot.
2 cars meshing together at this point. Teammates having fun with one another. It's competitive all the way to the end. And a big celebration in store for us from Adam Cabot. A great rollback there nearly to the start-finish line. Starting the donuts here at Miami Homestead. Big congratulations. Oh my goodness. Into the race. Use my words. Big congratulations to Adam Cabot. He burns it down here for the virtual fans. Bradley, what do you say we send it to a quick commercial break? We'll get set up for our post-race show, go through our final results, and of course, interviews with our top 3 finishers in the race and the season. Stick around, everybody. We'll be right back in a few minutes.
At Cynthia Rogers, MD Dermatology, we specialize in providing comprehensive expert care for the full spectrum of skin conditions, from complex skin diseases and skin cancer to aging concerns and aesthetic needs. With decades of combined experience in medical, surgical, and aesthetic dermatology, our team brings both deep clinical knowledge and a patient-first approach to every visit. Our practice focuses on developing personalized treatment plans tailored to each individual's skin, health, and life stage. We're located in Port St. Lucie, Florida, in the PSL Professional Center. Learn more or schedule a visit at floridaskindoctor.com.
Steel Graphics and Designs creates custom racing wraps and logos built for the real world and iRacing. From bold liveries to clean, professional branding, every design is made to perform on and off the track. Ready to upgrade your look? Contact Steel Graphics and Designs for custom wraps. Visit Steel Graphics and Designs on Facebook to learn more.
Backed by 70 years of experience, Duncan Water Systems specializes in commercial and residential water system testing, design, installation, and maintenance. Our mission at Duncan Water Systems is to provide high-quality water solutions to every customer. We pride ourselves on being responsive, honest, and customer-oriented. Our priority is safer water for you and your family. Contact us via call, text, email, or visit us at duncanwatersystems.com.
We are back after what was a dominating performance by your Season 6 champion, Adam Cabot, coming away victorious in phenomenal style. Let's take a look at the rest of the finishing results, find out where your favorite finisher, favorite driver finished this race.
Buddy, words are hard tonight for you.
Yeah, we'll take it in stride either way. The 17 of Adam Cabot, we saw it live, we saw it, and he is proud. Your Season 6 champion and winner of the season finale Miami Homestead race. 2 cautions on the board for the night, 6 lead changes, most of them between Cabot and Bailey Turner, who comes up P2 with Braxton DeWeese in P3. We'll have a word with those 3 drivers here momentarily. Our final competitor that was close enough to still be considered in the race for the chase for the cup, Seth Hatchell in the 8 machine takes home P4, followed up by teammate Chris Samard in the 77. Some late race action between those two could have flipped it at any given moment.
Yeah,
Dallas Sullivan in the 46 takes home P6, with Ray Massey, the 23 team, taking home P7. Eric Hutton, the pole setter of the event, unfortunately does not get a lap led, falls back to 8 for the 88 machine. Alan Dice with a nice drive up from 16th to the top 10 in P9. Paul Hahn, your winner of the best of the rest, from 15th to 10th for the 17.
Battling for that one lap down, James Loveland ultimately gets everyone. Ryan Gimmel, that's Thomas Brendel for 12th position. Michael Jones will finish in 13th, and I can't wait to see that paint scheme out there for the 02 or the 22 and the 2. Cody Atkins will finish in 14th position. Ryan Gimmel with an early exit, 58 laps down. Angela Heronis with connection issues. Then it's going to be the 52 of Jake Miller finishing in 17th. Zach Smith, in overcorrection, ends up in 18th position. Dennis Faircloth, 144 laps down. Early exit for the 83. But now it's time to take you trackside, and the first driver we're going to talk to, Logan, I believe we have our champion dialed in here. Logan Threlkeld has caught up with your race winner and overall champion of season number 6, Adam Cabot.
Yes, we have. He's finally gotten off the track from his celebration, got a step away from the team. Adam Cabot, first of all, congratulations are in order. What a race you put on for us today. 141 laps led. The clean air being a big factor, I'm sure, for you wanting to keep that 17 up front. But, you know, let's take a look at the season as a whole. I talked about it there just briefly about the struggles that you faced. You know, you fired out at the first half of the season like you came out of a cannon. Just a phenomenal front half run. Then issues set in, and they kept setting in. And then everything changed for you here late in the runnings for the playoffs. Tell me about pretty well whatever you want to, Adam. The floor is yours. You're the champion.
Well, first of all, thank you very much. I would say that's a pretty apt analysis for how the season went. Started really strong, and then just had a really, really rocky start to the chase, and really was just kind of the bonus points that I got for having a good regular season were what kept me in it. eventually I had to get a new computer in the middle of the chase because I couldn't take it anymore. I tried, troubleshooting for hours and hours and hours and probably days at this point, and had an email chain going like 20 messages back and forth with iRacing support. And every week I'd be like, okay, I changed all these things. I updated all these drivers and did this and did that. I'm sure that fixed the problem. And then it never did. And the issues kept going on and on. And eventually after Talladega, where, like 5 laps to go, just again, had my computer completely lock up on me and freeze, went to the outside wall. And I think that's when I had my like 9-point or 8-point deficit to Braxton. And I know Bailey, I forget if he passed me or not in points, but I know he made up a lot of ground. And at that point I was just like, screw it, this is ridiculous. Like, I've made a valiant effort to fix my computer, and it just was not happening. So yeah, luckily this new AMD CPU in this computer, shout out to AMD because they're the ones that saved me. Intel, you can go, I won't say it on the broadcast, but I have some choice words for Intel. But yeah, it's funny because going into the chase, I remember getting interviewed by you, and I'm like, yeah, as long as I have a big points cushion, if I just keep it clean and get top 5s, top 10s, it should be smooth sailing. Just need to not have any equipment failures. And clearly, I put a curse on myself there. But yeah, it's been a really really fun season. It probably made it a lot sweeter to have to come back from behind in the chase and to have to battle Bailey and battle Brexton there. And it wasn't necessarily a battle of excellence. We all just, I had a lot of issues, but Bailey had some issues as well, getting wrecked at Talladega. Also, infamously getting caught up in my Dover accident when my computer locked up. I went in the wall, and we both were, finishing last and second to last the first race of the chase. So, been a really fun season. And tonight it was just, it felt like all the bad luck I had to start the chase, I was just gifted all the good luck back tonight with obviously a good starting position, but that caution that came out, I thought I was screwed. I thought I was going to be trapped a lap down, but I guess I barely beat Seth or whoever was the leader or the pace car off pit road. I'm not really sure exactly what happened, but usually when you pit under green, the caution comes out, you're trapped a lap down. Instead, I had the lead, and it put Bailey to the back and Braxton to the back. And yeah, I thought that early in the race, Bailey and I were having a really good battle there. I thought, well, with how things typically go with us, this battle might go on a while, but yeah, no, I got to enjoy a nice smooth sailing to a victory and for a championship.
Well, you got to spend money to make money sometimes, and in terms of the computer issues, glad you got it resolved. I don't know what this league
pays out, but yeah, it probably was a net loss in the bank account. But yes, exactly, worth it.
But it makes that bittersweet hit to the checking account all that much better when you get to say that you are a BTDY champion. So congratulations for that. I believe Bradley had a follow-up question for you, Adam.
Oh, we got Bradley tonight.
Yeah. How you doing?
What's going on, Bradley?
Yeah, I won't call you out this week.
Usually, it's only Saturday nights you call me out on.
Yeah.
That's the guy, by the way, that stole a Daytona win and then walked away. Just saying.
Yeah. I didn't.
This could have been a different season.
Walk away. I came out here
he didn't
for 4
punch
weeks.
he didn't punch his way into the playoffs. So
No, I didn't show up enough for that. But you did, and for all of the things you had to go through, and having teammates maybe in the door every now and then, a lot of racing through this season. What's your takeaway though with how this race and this league has grown? What are you looking forward to for next one?
It's a good question. I guess it depends on what car we run, and I hope that this league's been great this year. I hope we can get some bigger car counts. I will say early shout out to VSPEED because you guys have done an amazing job of the broadcast all year. Whether or not we have we had a pretty good car count tonight, 19 cars. Whether we have 30 cars showing up or 13 cars showing up, you guys always do a great job, and it's great to be able to go back and watch the races, and something that we probably take for granted, but much appreciated. So. Yeah, it's just been a really fun season. I'm glad that Cody reached out to me over the winter and asked me if I wanted to run because I'd been off the sim for about like 4 or 5 months and taking a nice long break, and I was ready to get back going, and he messaged me at the perfect time, and I think I won the championship in this league 2022 or 2023, so I figure it's time to make my return. And yeah, it was a lot of fun this season. It was a lot of fun racing Bailey. Most weeks we certainly we certainly had a lot of amazing battles this season, and Braxton
and a great
also,
one tonight. a great one tonight at the start of this race.
Yeah, exactly. And the thing is, usually those battles, they just keep going and going and going. And I'm like, man, I don't know if I can do this for 150 laps. So, yeah, I was having fun, but at the same time, it was, like I said, nice to kind of get some distance and be able to coast to victory, especially after especially after Saturday night. That was pretty wild. But yeah, it's just been a lot of fun, and I'm glad that Cody reached out to me, and looking forward to doing it again.
Again, congratulations, Adam, on the championship. Two-time champion now in BTDY. Is there anybody you have to shout out for putting the 17 car on the top spot?
Absolutely. So in no particular order. So shout out to Florida Skin Doctor for sponsoring the league. From what I understand, they're the reason why we have broadcast and the reason why we have payouts and trophies. So super cool deal. Much appreciated. I already gave you guys at VSPEED the shout out. Shout out to my teammates, Bailey Turner, Angela Ronis, Eric Hutton. Always a fun time with them. Shout out to my mom and dad who watch most of my races, my aunt as well. My dad is semi-retired, so he actually he hadn't gotten to watch a lot of my races before, and it was cool to be able to have him watch a bunch of the season. And then I already shouted out Cody for the invite, and just shout out to everyone who showed up most weeks and made this a fun way to spend Tuesday nights for the past 6 months or so.
And I'm going to double shout out to Angela Horonas. She bought a secondhand computer from Adam Cabot. That's why you had connection issues here tonight. So it all adds up.
You'd think he did.
Yeah.
The way this night went.
It all makes sense now. But Adam, we thank you for coming up here and talking to us. And we'll see you probably Saturday night, if not sooner. And hopefully we get to talk to you again.
Sounds good. Thanks, guys.
Adam Cabot, champion here in BTDY. We catch up to the second place driver, second place in the points overall. Bailey Turner in the 24. Logan Threlkeld has caught up with him.
Now we've got Bailey Turner just shy of being the champion himself, but a phenomenal battle throughout the entire season. Another great battle today here at Homestead. Bailey, what were the kind of looking back to tonight? Obviously a huge mountain to climb in terms of coming home as a champion, but nonetheless able to come out here, put on one heck of a race, did a great job. A P2 finish, nothing to shy away from by any means. But what do you think you could go back and look at and say, I would do this differently, and maybe flip the script here on your teammate and come home champion yourself?
Yeah, not make the mistake of running the top in qualifying would have been it would have been good. At the beginning of practice, we were all setting our hot laps at the wall, and track went through a transition in practice to where the bottom became dominant, and then we have a little reset in the track going into qualifying, and I thought maybe this will transition back to the wall and it'll catch everybody by surprise, and yeah, I was dead wrong. So still started P4, which was good, but clean air, as you've seen all season, is just king in this car. We had one run there where I really pushed my stuff to try to, see if I could do something with Adam there. And, we battled it out for a handful of laps, but at that point I heavily abused the right front and kind of had to go in defensive mode against Braxton and those guys behind us to maintain track position. And then, unfortunately, the ill-timed caution right in the middle of a pit cycle never fails. And, put us at the back of the field with a lap on our tires and stuff like that, which isn't a huge difference, but, it's just a tough hill to climb to get through traffic. And, luckily we got there, and, Adam asked me about halfway through that last run, he's like, man, you're gaining on me. Did you change your bias? And, even in the heat of battle, I still gave him a little inkling of what I was doing with my bias, and then he just took off with the 3-lap pressure tires and everything. So, this isn't, by far, this is not in my top of my list when it comes to racetracks I want to go to. I mean, puts on great racing, obviously, multi-groove until it goes into night. But just always struggled here just a little bit. I always felt like I've always just been a little off. And, if we were going to a short track or something, I probably would have had a little more fun and felt pretty confident. But I knew, like you said, it was an uphill climb all night to try to beat Adam.
Bailey, you come in here, and Logan touched on it. We played the what-if game all night long. But when you come into a race like this, where you're relying on somebody else to have a race the way that you want them to have it, instead of prepping for you and yourself personally, it's got to be a weird situation to be in.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I knew, anything over about 4 or 5 points, it was going to be a tough battle. And, you had to get the pole, you had to lead the most laps and have him not lead a lap. Just all that kind of stuff to even give yourself a chance. And, yeah, like you said, huge uphill battle. And, Adam's obviously one of the best in the sim. And he had experience earlier, a couple weeks back racing an area. So he had a good idea of where the track was going to go, what lines to run, all that kind of stuff. And I mean, I texted him on Monday. I said, man, like VSPEED needs to put together a compilation of all of our crazy battles we've had in the last 4 to 6 weeks in BTDY, and just this last Saturday in SNR. I mean, that was some of the most our racecraft has gone out the window when we race each other, but still respectful enough not to wreck each other. But man, it's been a blast, and it's enjoyable to go back and watch all these broadcasts and just see all the crazy stuff we're doing, and racing with guys like Braxton, who came out of nowhere a little bit this season and really gave both of us a run for the money. If I really wanted to rough up Adam or do something stupid, or if he wanted to do something stupid, if we took each other out, I mean, Braxton takes the championship from both of us. So it was kind of a damned if you do, damned if you don't situation there. But just congrats to him. Heck of a season for Braxton. Always fun racing Seth and those guys, and Massey and Eric and Angelo. I mean, and all the admins also for putting this whole thing together. I mean, we didn't have the car count this season that we typically enjoy, but the guys that are out here and running in the top 5, top 10, just really quality guys and fun to race around, and super respectful.
Bailey Turner, second place in the championship, second place on the racetrack. Appreciate you coming up here and talking to us. And we look forward to seeing you on Saturday nights and when we come back here for season 7.
Appreciate it.
And finally, that brings us to our third place finisher. This is just surreal because we've got the top 4 in points, the top 4 on the racetrack tonight, but we're going to move down the order to Braxton DeWeese, and Logan Threlkeld has caught up with the driver of the 00.
Bradley, that just means that they fully earned this opportunity to be battling for this championship. It's not easy to come out and compete every single week against such a tough field. So to finish top 3, both on the track and in the standings, is something to say. But we've got Braxton DeWeese down here, third place. You had a little bit of a drive here tonight. You had a lot going against you, a lot that needed to happen for things to fall in your favor. But you still put together a phenomenal race here, a lot of battles for yourself, Braxton, and a huge shout out there from Bailey Turner as well, which I would consider a massive accomplishment in itself. But tell me a little bit about your race here from the seat of the 00, and maybe recap on some things earlier on in the season, maybe some moments that you would like to go differently and put yourself in a better position tonight.
Yeah, to start it off with tonight, just had to do what I needed to do. Just same goal as any other week, to try to go for a race win, and hope everything else would fall into place. It was a super long shot and of needing Bailey and Adam to have problems, but nonetheless, we still ran up there and gave ourselves a shot at the win. Had everything gone through smoothly, and I say that with the caution happening through pit stops, that threw a wrench into things, and not having a caution after that made it a little tough for Bailey or I to even do anything. So, it is what it is. Still had a solid run back up there, like you said. But just, we did pretty consistent throughout the entire year. I believe we had 19 starts with 17 top 10s and 13 top 5s. The last 2 weeks, Bristol and Auto Club, I felt like that could have been 2 podium finishes as well. I screwed up at Bristol. Had I not screwed up, I would probably have gotten a podium, probably 3rd, I'd say. But, it is what it is. It's just how the cookie crumbles. And last week was rather unfortunate, riding around super slow and just kind of waiting on a caution. It's kind of been my ordeal here lately in multiple leagues, is waiting on the caution when I need it, getting a caution when I don't need it. So either way, we're still battling it out, just trying to do the best we can each week and each league we do every night. This is one of my worst cars to race with on the oval. I've done about 3 or 4 leagues and I haven't got a championship yet. every other car I feel like I've done pretty solid in, but we're right there. So just consistency really plays a big factor, and that's what got me into position that I was even in and having a shot at the championship this week. If I wasn't as consistent as I was throughout the entire year, I don't think I would have been in this spot. So definitely some positives to take away, and try to look forward to next season, whether it's with this car or not. I hope it isn't, but either way, we're going to try our best, and hopefully we can be a couple spots better.
Braxton, I don't know if you're reading directly from my notes, but shout out to Adam Baker. I've had limited amounts of talking to you. I know that you're good here, and I know that you put on a great show, but you read verbatim what I had on my notes because I'm just catching up here for the tail end of the season. It was 2 wins on the season, late spin there, and problems at Auto Club, but you had a late spin at Bristol. You came in with the points lead at the short track, and then you lost almost 20 points. So you read straight from what I was going to ask you. I mean, it's got to feel like surreal to come into this race and know that, again, I talked to Bailey about it. You have to rely on somebody else to have a bad race.
Yeah, it's not a position you want to be in, but it's a position that you honestly just think to be fortunate to be in. Honestly, I know it's kind of weird to say you want someone to have a problem, but you could be in a position to where you don't even have a shot at all. So um, just wish you would have went a little better. We always could always wish that it'd go better if we were in this position, but there's it's solid competition. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, I could be wrong. I believe Adam raced in the Monday Night Racing League and won when they were in person at Charlotte when they had all them cars there. So that was or all the drivers there racing the sim cars there. So that's a pretty big deal if I believe I have that correct. So just to be racing with these guys week in and week out and have speed to go up against a win with them, just need a teeny bit more. It's still pretty good. Just got to do a little bit more preparing, a little more trying to figure out what we need to do, and we can do that with the unlimited testing in the sim. So we'll see what we can do next season.
And Bradley, just to throw a little bit of extra sugar on the top of this cake, this would be Braxton's first full-time season in BTDY. So to come away, even top 10 in points, we talk about how competitive this group is. And seriously, it is one of the toughest fields to run against. So to come in here, rookie season, you've clearly put your name on notice, Braxton. Congratulations on the season as a whole, being competitive as you were. Is there anybody that you'd like to say thanks to for getting you to this point?
Yeah, for sure. I believe we had the same sponsor on the car for the entire year of Interstate 4, just a couple subtle changes with the last few races, so a big shout out to them. This is the only league that I raced the 00, and the only time I've actually ran it too. So I like the different numbers. I kind of usually go with the DEI numbers: 00, 1, 3, 5, 15, 8. I mainly go with 8. That's my main number. Born on Earnhardt's birthday, I'll leave the 3 for him. But big shout out to Interstate Ford. I really do like that 00 on that car, and just Interstate Ford colors in general. So appreciate them. As well as 3 Dips Ice Cream Shop, Steak Time, Deweese Renovations, Superior Sim Racing. You can use the code BDR5 for 5% off over there in the checkout. Elevated TV, Ghost Train, Wood Nickel Band, Evan Pieta Designs, Philip Raps and Graphics, who made this car. Our Pizza House in Winchester, Indiana. They support the Roadsters at Winchester, as well as Beaver Contracting for sponsoring the Roadsters at Anderson Speedway. Our next race with Thunder Roadster is going to be June 28th at Winchester. It should be live on Racing America or Dirt Vision, something like that. Whatever the 500 Sprint Car Tour uses. I believe it's Racing America now, but I could be wrong. Either way, it's going to be broadcasted, so hopefully we can get the gremlins out of the car finally. That'd be awesome. And hopefully we can be as competitive out there as we are on the sim. That'd be a dream come true. It's already a dream come true racing in real life, but it'd be pretty damn cool. So we'll try our best, but I appreciate y'all. Looking forward to next season.
Have to agree with that. Congratulations again, Braxton. We will catch you in season 7.
Yes, sir. Y'all take care.
Well, Bradley, it was a one-time appearance, I believe, for you here on the Tuesday Night Booth Crew, but couldn't really ask for a better scenario to be a part of. A very very close battle in the points coming into it. Could have gone any way at any given moment. We come out of this with 2 cautions on the night, a champion, in just a phenomenal race. Honestly, that was fantastic.
Logan, this is my 3rd appearance. I was on the track. You said I fell out. I got washed, and then I came back for the road course, and I knew better than to be on the racetrack for that one. I actually ran 5 weeks, by the way, in this season. I was pretty committed to running on Tuesdays. But I come back here, it always goes full circle. Wherever you start, whoever gives you your big break to build a company and put you on the map, BTDY is where it all started. So it's only fitting that I come back here. And, you know, Adam Baker out in Florida, I'm sure he's enjoying himself. His pool water heater probably didn't work today. He probably had to complain about that. But, you know, to come back here and hang out with you, Logan, you've been here for 2 years. I've been here for 5. Adam Baker founded this back in 2018. It's always BTDY. That's where it always comes back to. And it was fantastic. It never disappoints. And I love the fact that we have such competitiveness with names I'm familiar with.
And that will never go away. Speaking of coming full circle, looking at Daytona International Speedway there. But at the end of the day, we're still in Florida, and that's all that matters. That will do it for the Florida Skin Doctor BTDY Racing Series. The Florida Skin Doctor 225 at Homestead. Victorious is Adam Cabot. A champion is Adam Cabot. We will catch you all after a short break in the schedule. We'll get right back to it for Season 7 with the BTDY Racing Group. Can't wait to have everybody back. Thank you all for spending your Tuesday night with us. We hope you enjoyed the show. If you did, please hit that like button, subscribe to the channel so you never miss another race. A lot of different series going through. A lot of these same drivers you see tonight you can find on other nights as well. I've been your host, Logan Threlkeld, of course, joined by Bradley Cooper, running the production truck, all the cameras, and our co-host. Those cameras provided by Dougie Beard. So long for now, but we'll see you soon. Good night, everybody.